Let's see, what's it just run? I don't know what's happening here. It seems to have got no. Anyway, I'm going to go live here. Let's see, there we go. We have to make sure the sponsors get in. It's my fault. Okay, thanks for joining us. We're going to go live now on Facebook Live. Good evening, Bernie. We played solid tonight in my view. And nice to see Coburn get a start and looking what? I don't know where that went. Okay, we're going live. Hi, it's Bernie Slim here. Thanks for joining me on Facebook. I'm on YouTube Live as well. And thanks as always to sponsors, Galaxy Blinds, Cornerstone, GRS Installation, Dovecot, Advanced Utility Solutions, Cleveland Systems Engineering, Ocean Lighting, Ultimate Windows, TGM Cars. So Galaxy Blinds, Cornerstone, GRS Installation, Dovecot, Advanced Utility Solutions, Cleveland Systems Engineering, Ocean Lighting, Ultimate Windows. Well, tonight's game, if you didn't see it and you think, what is a team? It was Dieng. There was 4 changes from the last game. Dieng, Engel, Fry, Lenihan, Berg, McGree, O'Brien, Crooks, Hackney, Silvera and Coburn. And on the bench was Glover, Smith, Belazer, Latilaf, Rogers, Isaiah Jones, Houser, McNair and Greenwood. That was the start lineup. I'll read one out right away. Give a minute. No, I've read that out. We played solid tonight. Keith Watson says we played solid and it was good to see Coburn playing. Keith Williams says total shambles, Bernie. Bernie, think we looked like a better team all round tonight. Well, I'll give my opinion then. I'll start reading everybody else's. Fans getting mugged off. Club's a mess. That's from Daniel. What's this one? Watching as a neutral, game of two faces, Wednesday, and Valentine on that letter. Oh, he was very good, the right winger. How on earth did Sammy Silvero last as long as he did? Silvera, utter garbage, just if you Mark Kirby. How long is Carrick going to keep starting him? Does he have compromising photos of the management? Paul Kearney says, evening Bernie, evening Paul. Absolute rubbish. That's for Jazz. Jay Shaw say absolutely abysmal. 2 teams destined for League One. Kieran Scott, get out of our club. Tim Elite says balls into the box. Absolute joke. Crooks doesn't even want to be on the pitch. You can see it in the passion, no drive. That's for Charlie Leeson. Robert Burrafan McClucky says 89th minute substitute. Why? Should have been more changes from the last 75 minutes. Mark Geddes says another toothless shambles as long as Gibbo enjoys his comfy seat in the director's box. And who's that from? For Mark Geddes. Ian Macy's absolute shite, Bernie. It's the same story with the past 5 managers. I don't blame the manager. I blame Gibson. He needs to go. He never addresses the fans and has took us on as far as he can. Mohammed Bar says, hi Bernie, Joseph Slavin, you okay? I am, Mohammed. What an embarrassing game. Carried out of his depth. Thankful last season, but out of last season we are doomed. What a shame. Look at the first half, Bernie. You still have faith in Carrick. I'll come to my views in a minute. I've not said anything about the game yet. I'll say what I've seen. First half, I thought we were shambolic. I thought we were woeful. We were second to everything. They scored the goal. Valentine, I think that's how you pronounce his name, on the right wing, ran amok. He tore a full back to shreds. Engel was eventually replaced. Second half, we scored the goal. Corner kick came in for the right and Lenihan got a touch there. Him and Coburn went for the same goal, but we pepped up second half. But was it good enough? No, of course it's not. If you think that was good against a team on a par with us, well, not on the par with us, they're newly promoted, then turmoil off and on the pitch. I watched it the second half and I thought we had one player over than them. That's how much we exposed the frailties in the second half. First half, I don't know what happened. We didn't come out the blocks. They came out the better side, more attacking, passed it around, got balls in for the right and left wing. We never got any balls in for the wing. I think Silvera put one in the first half. I think we had one shot in the first half. Coburn had a great effort at 1-1 when he cut in for the left-hand side and curled it and clipped it outside the left post. That was a great effort. But a point against Sheffield Wednesday away, I've always classed an away point as a good point on your travels, on our travels. But not tonight. They're garbage and we're garbage. Let's face reality. So far, 7 games in, 2 points. 2 points out of 21. No win, 5 goals scored and 14 conceded. Those are damning statistics. I can't sit here and give it big ones that, oh, it's going to be okay and we're going to turn it round. Are we going to turn it round? If you're not concerned after tonight, you're a deluded Borough fan. You're living in cuckoo land. You want to lie down in the darkened room or hide under the bed for a while. It's not good enough. First half, I don't know how it takes us. Same in Saturday. The last game, first half, garbage, woeful. Tonight I'd use the same word, garbage and woeful, against a team that's level with us. Second half, we get a goal and then we perk up and then we come alive. The introduction of Isaiah Jones really turned it on tonight. For me, he was man of the match. Come off the bench, was going at them, getting balls in. He got booked, so what? But he was going at them and creating things. But if you're happy with a point away at Sheffield Wednesday, and we're 7 games in, I've just looked through it. What is it? Or so many, 17 points off the top team. Is Preston, top of the league, 17 points behind them, 7 games in. Not even the most ardent, staunch, blinkered, sycophantic Borough fan can enjoy what we've seen tonight. I mean, one guy did, Keith. Keith says he was happy with what he's seen. Dear God, you're easily pleased, Keith. It's either that or you're deluding yourself or you're on the drink or some illegal substance, because tonight, first half, we were garbage, woeful. I would tell him that if I was sitting in front of the lads. If I was in the dressing room, I'd be saying the same thing. I was garbage, you were garbage. Whenever this shot, the midfield was overrun. That Bannon was pulling the strings. He died a bit in the second half. He's one of the best performers by all accounts. He was taking injections because he's injured. He's just back for injury. They threw him in there because they needed him. The only player they really had was the right back, the right wing back. Hey, Bernie Joseph Slavin, you okay? What an embarrassing game. Oh, it's Mohammed, sorry. Last season, but you have to go. Steve Gibson need to bloody communicate with the fans. We are doomed. What a shame. Crooks worked hard second half. seen that, to be fair. Like, what's happening in the stream? I want a refund. Stephen Horn, yeah, I want a refund as well, Stephen. You're back on anyway. Even Byrne, Engel is the worst Borough left back I've ever seen. 3 subs should have been made. So Vera, Engel, Crooks, let's see if Kev Mansfield, all off. Rob Mackay says, absolute garbage, Bernie. Who scouts these players? Well, we know who scouts them. We've got a few scouts, but the main guy is the director of football. Praising a player because he ran about. Colin Fry is saying that. You're not referring to me, I never says that. Ian Plumpton says, good evening, Bernard. Why didn't we go for the throat once we equalised? Sheffield Wednesday were there for the taking. Ian Plumpton, that's exactly what I seen. I'm looking at it, I'm in the living room and I'm thinking, that's it. We're on top now. We've finally exposed them, how bad they really are. That's why they're down there with us. So first half, they outplayed us. They looked a better team, deserved the 1-0 up. But then the second half, we really turned the screw. But again, I'm sitting there and am I confident we're going to get a goal? No. The only real effort that got me up was Josh Coburn when he cut him for the left. Mark says, if we were gifted another 2,000 minutes, we still wouldn't have scored. Had a goal in the team. Who's a goal in the team? Why do all the players look scared to carry the ball forward? Always looking to pass backwards as soon as anyone presses them. The two teams are struggling, really showed. Well, they are. It wasn't a game for the purists. I mean, talk about viewing figures. That was on Sky Live tonight. Wonder what the figures were watching that. You think people's going to log in to a championship game when it's two teams at the bottom, 23rd and 24th? Richard Mark Atwood says, why can't they shoot, Bernie? Every time they pass, then we lose it. Richard infuriates me. I was always taught shooting sight. If you get a chance, pull a trigger, go for it. If it flies over the bar, hits a pigeon, flies over the stadium into the river, doesn't matter. You've had a go. Rather than fanning about, fan dancing, hesitating. The amount of times, again tonight, in every game, they get the ball, they want to shoot, and they get the opponent gets a block. Well, that's an indication you're not pulling it fast enough. Swing your foot fast enough. Instead they drop the shoulder, delaying, then hit it, and then a block. Get a shot off. It's infuriating. Are you watching the Carrick post-match, Bernie? He's glowing with excitement. Shut up, don't be so silly. You're winding me up. Carrick can't be sacked, but what else do we do? I get it, he is in charge, but this squad is weaker than when Carrick took over. This is for Nick Henderson. Carrick over. I don't believe he's picked these new players. Left backs are weak, and up front we are toothless. We can't blame Carrick tonight. Players weren't good enough for Mark. Exactly. You have to share the blame. Don't be putting on Carrick's table. You've did that over the years with Woodgate and Mowbray and whoever else. It's always the guy that faces the camera's fault. But there's more than meets the eye. You need to start broadening horizons and open your eyes. And you're a football fan. There's more than meets the eye. If you try and build a house with tools from Poundland, the job won't get done to the highest quality. This is for Ian May. Carrick can only build what the tools he's been allowed to work with. The chairman is to blame. Well, does that refer to the other managers as well, Ian? Fair enough. I don't disagree with that. The club are trying to get a foundation, and I get that. I totally get that. But as a fan, I'm like Carrick. I want instant success. I don't want to wait 2, 3, 4 years for 12 guys to develop, and then we know who they are and how good they are. We need it now. So I get what the club's doing. Try and get these lads, tutor them, get them coached, get them shining and polish them, and then hopefully sell them. That's the idea, and I totally get that, because we have brought some donkeys to the club for years who couldn't play. And Steve Gibson's been signed and saying, there you go, yeah, let him go with other people's opinion. Yeah, okay, do that. Now, it's not somebody else's opinion, but it's not the vast amounts of money that he's squandered over the years. Just think of some of the money we have squandered in donkeys. I've said it on here before. I mean donkeys. Rudy Gestede, Alves, Macaroni. We know he scored the diving header. He wasn't a good striker. I think he scored about 8 goals. He cost 8 million. Oh, but he made it to the final. Yeah, we made it to the final. We get done 4. Izzy was only positive tonight. Should start him on Saturday. I think he'll be pulling the names out of a hat on Saturday. Danny McGaham says, took McGree off. All momentum gone in the second half. Yeah, McGree did come off. A wee bit surprised, but wasn't greatly involved. But I'm sure when we were really getting a foothold in the game, when Isaiah Jones came on, I'm sure he would have blossomed. Sorry, Bernard, but Carrick has to go. To Vidara Watson. Just not good enough. Doesn't read. Doesn't make changes to win the game. Jason Cowley says, final ball around the box is awful. Jason, some of the passing, man. In the first 25 minutes, I'm talking about routine passes. No real pressure. There you go, straight to them. There you go again, straight to them. I weigh 25 stone and have dodgy lungs. I could do better than our left back. Jesus, where did we dig him up from? For Andrew Smith. Andrew Parkin says, 2 pub teams equally devoid of quality and direction, Bernie. Enough is enough. We have been rotting away as a club. I'll read it out because he's took the time. Since Eindhoven, how many more quality managers do we need to see come and go before the penny drops? The problem is solely Mr. Gibson front door. He needs help or must sell the club. Why, all due respect, Benny, I don't want to hear you tried and tested line of who'll buy us. Well, I won't say it then, but can you tell us who would buy us? Give us a straight answer and hold the right people to account. Those at the top are running the club. Enjoy listening to your thoughts and respect your opinions. You're a Borough legend. But I've gave my honest and true opinion, Andrew. I'm in bed with no one. I respect Steve Gibson. I'm sure he knows that. I know him personally, but I'm not a sycophantic fool. I'll use that word sycophant again. I'm not a fool. Of course the top guys play a major part in who comes and who goes. Of course they do. Carrick will carry the can, but I've been saying for ages, Carrick will carry the can. As I say, I see both sides. I see the fan side angry, furious with what they're saying or what they're not saying after last season's fantastic. It was a great achievement. Carrick came in and turned the whole thing round at Middlesbrough Football Club. He got exciting, free-flowing, entertaining football, goals. Akpom was magnificent. First half shambles, better setting. Why did he take off McGree? Don't know the answer to that, Henry. Yeah, I've lost my train of thought there. Can't even make a pass. Never mind score. Tom Murphy. Well, Tom, I mentioned that the passing was awful. First half, if I was Carrick, I'd be getting them in the morning and saying, right, have a hot bath. We're not doing any training. Just watch the first half of last night. Watch the first half of the last game. Just watch some of the passing and how we take 45 or 49 minutes with the extra time. How bad we were at passing the ball. Serious question from an internal optimist, Bernie. Do you see this team gelling and turning things around? We are awful. This is for James Stirland. We are awful at the moment, but I still have faith. Am I deluded? James, I keep saying it. Hold on. I can't bear hearing the words, it's such a long season. Carry it after the game tonight. Mark Scott, yeah. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and all that one. I get all that, yeah. So, eternal optimist, Bernie, do you see this team gelling? Look, I think we'll get better. But do I think it's going to be sterling performances like last season? No chance. Do I see us being top 6? No chance. I said it all last season before the event. It's easy saying it now. And it is a long season, to quote Carrick. We know it's a long season. We know it's a cliche, but it is a long season. And it is a marathon, not a sprint. Another cliche. But we've got the winter months coming in. We've got injuries, loss of form, suspensions, players in international duty. Some of the guys won't be good enough. The 12 that come in, they're not all going to turn it on. Some of them, half of them probably be gone in a year. I'd swap having Massimo and getting done in Europe final. And what is that crap? We were Daniel Richards. Well, not even I can disagree with that one. What's that? Need to start Jones on Saturday. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think you're deluded, James. Things can turn for the better. They can only get better, dear God. The law of averages says we have to win a game of football. I'll tell you what, see if we don't win on Saturday. We don't. I read a wee quote the day where I meant to read all these Facebook, but I never get time. The quote that Carrick spoke to the chairman and everybody's calm and cool. Are we not including the fans here? The fans are the ones that dictate. The top boys, of course, pull the rug, but the fans play a major part in what goes on at your club, up and down the country. Always have done. And rightly so, they're the guys that pay the hard-earned cash and watch it. And going with the last home game, the boos at half-time and full-time, I'm not saying it was everybody, but there was enough to hear them. That lets you know they're not happy. Nobody's happy. If you're a Borough fan, you can't be happy. 2 points out of 21. Simply not good enough. Where we were last season to now. We know we're building for the future, but Carrick ain't got a future if he doesn't start winning games. If we don't win on Saturday, you'll hear more than a few boos. I'm not encouraging it, by the way. I think, as a paying customer, boo, but do it after 90 minutes if things don't go to plan. I don't see any point in getting on players' backs halfway through the game, 70 minutes through, because it only takes a moment of magic and a moment of inspiration. Maybe the fans get behind somebody to do a bit of magic and score a goal. I know you might be saying, well, you're dreaming because we don't score goals. I get that. We've only scored 5 in the last 7 league. But you know what I mean? You pay money, you're entitled to boo, but try and hold it for the 90 odd minutes and try and get behind the lads throughout. The most exciting thing tonight was the tennis balls thrown onto the pitch for Matt Scott. Bernie, to be honest, Gibson has been brilliant, but he's now a millionaire's chairman of a billionaire game. We've said that many a times. 3 top quality players gone, 12 very bang average players in brought in. Well, yeah, I know that. I see what the club's trying to do, but I see the opinion of the fans. I see both sides. I'm a fan. I'm a former player. I'm a fan. I'm not a businessman. I'm a fan. 12 players that's come in. I come in as a totally unknown in 85 from a team that probably the majority here in Middlesbrough or anywhere didn't know, Albion Rovers. But I was only one. We've got 12 of them in. 3 goalkeepers. Is it 3 left backs we've got? I want to see forwards galore coming in. Up to the around. Yeah, I mentioned that. Played better in the second half, but nowhere near where we need to be. I don't blame Carrick. What can we do with all that rubbish? The recruitment dropped on him, but Carrick decisions seem lost and don't know what to do. Well, we should ask Carrick that question when they're interviewing him. I'm dreading Sunderland away in a couple of weeks, Bernie Poe. Stoke, I would calm down regarding Sunderland. We've got Southampton on Saturday, who Sunderland beat 5, scored 5, played them off the pitch. Can we do that? The pressure's mounting. It's like a volcano. It's just mounting and mounting, and the more we go and we don't, it's like, I've said myself, when I was goal scorer, regular, 1 every 2.5 games, I had a band spell 10, 11 games. I couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo. I couldn't hit a band door. I was lucky to hit the main stand. I was garbage. My confidence started dropping. I'd never experienced it. And this is what the team's in at this minute in time. They're in a rut and they don't know how to get out of it. They're trying. I don't believe anybody out tonight never tried. I don't believe that. People say they never tried, no passion. I think it's down to confidence, lack of ability, lack of routine passing, lack of leaders. I did a bit of my podcast talking about leaders. Do you see any leaders out there? I'd be sure you'd have heard me through your television tonight. I heard the Borough fans, well done, the travelling fans. I think we either have to rather accept we can only be an average championship side. Greenwood, Rodgers, what do they bring to the team? I don't know, Henry, I've not seen enough of them. So where are we now in the we need, I don't blame Carrick, what to do, all the rubbish, the recruitment dropped on him. Hey, you look at the big guy, Moore, who was in the studio tonight. Moore was in charge of Sheffield Wednesday last season. Playoffs, 4-0 down. He turned it round and got them promotion and then gets sacked. So Sheffield deserve where they are. They deserve sacking guys like that. So he gets them promoted, comes back for the dead, 4-0 down, wins the game astonishingly, minor miracle, and then they bin him. And this is what they've got, a team that's on a par with us. Coburn's shot should have curled the ball and was not by the post. Colin, how unlucky was he? I knew what he was doing right away. I used to do it coming in for the right, onto my favoured left, curl it top corner. Majority ended up in the corner shop at Elson Park, but there you have it. No, I know what he's trying to do, and it was a good effort. He didn't go for sheer... a lot of people just go for power instead of accuracy. He went for both. He was unlucky. Hi, Bernie, all over them. Why didn't Carrick bring on a striker? Don't understand him. Crooks look knackered. No leaders agree. 2 positive starting games. Never on the front foot. Wayne Matthews says, what a waste of life watching that, Bernie. There ain't no life in that team. Crooks is a shambles. Terrible. Lost for words. How bad we are. As I say, the first half we were garbage. We were woeful. Terrible. Embarrassing. It was embarrassing first half. Second half when we got the goal. Same as last game. We come to life. We start producing the goods, but we can't score. Bernie, that squad looks a shadow of the squad we had last year. But it is. It is a shadow. We were left, during the summer months, we were left with a five-a-side team. Half a team went. All the best players, the first team regulars, all went. We know who they are. Fed up talking about them. They all went. We sold the top striker. What do you expect? I expected us to know set the header of light from the off, because it'll take a bit of time, but I never, in my wildest dreams, imagined it would be so bad. I'm not... I heard the commentator tonight, well, Burroughs been good in games this season. What games has he been watching? They obviously watch every game. They don't just focus in Middlesbrough. I focus purely on the team I support. Mohammed says, we are heading backwards. I am fearing the worst. Something is not right inside the camp. Poor signing. And it's the fans who have to suffer. Time, the Gazette, go in for the important matters, but are scared of upsetting the club. I would have got tune out of this squad. Trust me. Well, they've got a defensive tune out them. I don't know about attacking wise. He holds the record for the worst. Carrick's got the worst record in charge for a long, long time, and Carrick's got the worst record, the longest record for not scoring a goal, and I think it was 7.5, 8 games. Check that out, Mohammed. Tom Corrigos just says Tommy Tip, rhythmical. If you see it again, I hit the defender. Are you referring to Coburn? Okay. We need to bin off the entire backroom staff and start from scratch. People say Carrick's on his way out. It's a miracle Woodgate is still here. Maybe he's the team psychic or physic. He predicts we lose points each week. Yeah, getting back to that big Dan Moore, so he gets sacked, but another reason he probably sacked, or maybe he says it afterwards, here they go to the recruitment. And once you do that, you're off. The top boys don't tolerate that. You're not allowed to tell stories outside the camp. We need to bin off entire backroom staff, so I've read that. It's a miracle, yeah. If only Jones could cross a ball. I think he crossed a couple tonight. There was a couple of bad ones as well, yeah. Not Carrick's fault. Players have to take responsibility. Also, Mr. Gibson has to invest more or sell up. Unfortunately, Daniel May. Unfortunately, more or sell up. Tonight, we played a team in a worse mess than us. They're in turmoil off the park. The fans chipped the balls on. Do you know the last club that I remember chipping tennis balls on? It was the day Karanka walked out on Middlesbrough. Remember he walked out? We played Charlton away. And the game was delayed because all the balls were getting thrown on. It was tennis balls, I'm sure it was. Thousands of them. There was only a few tonight, but I think there was thousands down at Charlton. It's the last time I've seen that happening. And it so happens, Sheffield were battering us. And then the fans started disrupting the play and stopping play, which I found strange. Paul Kelly says, tonight we played the team, worst messing us. Them throwing tennis balls on the pitch tells you this. First half we were garbage, stood still, 6-yard box while they scored. No closing down. Second half we came to life a bit when Jones came on, we did. We then went off the boil again and stood off them. Sheffield were rubbish. We've not played what I call a decent team yet, and we've not won a game. We're doomed. After what I've watched, Southampton will destroy Saturday. Well, the thing about Southampton, they're an out-and-out footballing team. They won't give us chances, but we're good enough to take them. On the evidence in the opening 7 games, we're not. Jones has just says in radio, it's a good point away from home. Hopefully we win Saturday. We want promotion. We were so close last season, deluded Southampton. Dear God. He must have been told what to say, Daniel. There must be somebody behind him going, mine say that, mine plug that. If I was playing in the team tonight, I'd have come out and anybody asking me, and anybody, the local reporters here used to say to me, When I used to go in one, I used to lose it because I was disappointed myself, disappointed in the team, disappointed when we get beat, disappointed when we were rubbish, and there was a lot of times like that. I used to go in front of the media, and I used to say this and that, and be straight-laced, and the local journalist used to go, "Are you sure you want to put that in? You'll get in trouble." And I says, "Yeah, put it in." None of the modern players do that. Pussies, man. 90 minutes of my life I'll not get back. That's for Anne-Marie Timmy. Jones, man of the match, doing this interview in Sky. Well, I said he was man of the match. Bernie, any thoughts on formation and selection tonight? Mark? Look, the formation, I remember the late great Brian Clough, and he's my favourite all-time Borough player because he's a goal scorer. Loved everything about him. Had the pleasure and privilege interviewing him and meeting him. Everything that I thought he was. Brian Clough used to say it's not about formations, it's about players. Good players, bright players can play any formation. The formation worked last year, it's not working this year. But is it the formation or is it the players? I think it's more the players. Don't think it's formation. I think the Carrick's DNA and style and brand is to attack, get it wide, get the balls in the box. But you know what? Well, we can't do it. 7 games in. I don't know how we're just going to turn it on. I cannot receive, no matter if we bring another 10 left backs and right back, I don't think we'll replace Giles. Giles was an incredible delivery of the ball, wasn't a great defender, flawed, but going forward, he was a big provider for a lot of players. We play a team with a terrible defence and Lath doesn't even get on the pitch. Baffling. Fair point. I was surprised that Lath was on the bench, but he's missed a few. Look, there's nobody in the team now. Whatever happens Saturday, and if Carrick makes another 6 changes, not one of them can go and knock on the door and say, "Hey, why am I dropped? I should be in the team." How bad is Engel? Who's picked him out to sign? I don't know. You have to ask that question. At least the local reporters would do their job. England Silvera out of the depth. That's for Danny McGraham. Pamela Tumbers says absolute crap. Nothing positive about it. Jones tried to turn it round, but what the hell was Silvera doing? He couldn't pass water. That's for Pamela Turnbull. Furious Pamela Turnbull. And deletes hi Andy. Any justice Coburn has to start my man of the match. Well, the first half he never got a kick, Timmy. Second half he did. He was involved. Second half he was running at them. He was taking them on. He was working his socks off. First half never got a kick. He should have got lonely money. He should get more money for being lonely up front and isolated. Michael Saunders said, "We're in Desperny. I'm not convinced Carrick can turn it round with this lot. What was the point in bringing Rodgers in the 89th minute? What impact can a forward make in this time? None. Well, they can by default a fluke, but doesn't you? Why don't the reporters ever ask Carrick any tough questions?" That's from Matt Scott. Probably because they're told not to. I think, or they get binned. They get banned. That's what pisses me off. I don't watch news. I don't listen to the press. I don't listen to local radio. I don't really read local papers now. I finished with all that. Finished with it years ago. It's just propaganda. It's bullshit. Spin. It's to keep the jobs. To keep them in bed. Keep each other warm. Real journalists and real pundits shoot from the hip. Say what they believe, not what other people want to believe. Say what they want, not what other people want to say. So they keep their job and keep them sweet. So, yeah. He puts the team at Colin Fry. Dave Saunders says, "With a shambles of players, there's a disgrace to the supporters. I don't understand why Isaiah wasn't on from the start. Not a chance of getting out of the bottom 3 if this carries on." Andrew Smith says, "If Gibbo does pull the trigger, who would you fancy to take over from Carrick?" Bielsa for me. Andrew, you know what? I've always says this. I'm a straight talker and I don't give a flying if I upset anybody or if I please somebody. I'm not to upset anybody. I just give my honest opinions. But regarding talking about another manager or coach when we've already got one, I wouldn't get involved in that. I think that's disrespectful. So Carrick's still in charge. I hope we can turn it round. I hope we can keep his job because there's more than him that's in charge. There's a consortium of people. So I don't want to be disrespecting Carrick. I don't want to do that. Time to accept the club is going nowhere and management from top to bottom and can't see how this is going to improve. Too much talk and never see any action. talks cheap, what we talk on here. This is easy things, sitting talking here. Try doing it. I've been on the part doing it. Behind the scenes, I've never been, but I'm sure that's a difficult job as well. But you have to go with your gut and what you believe in. Fans jumping on the bandwagon is ridiculous. The players we have brought in will take a long time to adjust, Sean Cooper, to this league. But are they championship level? Back Carrick 100%. Look what he'd done last season. So if there's anyone to get us going, it's him. A point is a point, and hopefully that's a start to get some points on the board. Carrick needs back, and so do the team. I agree we need back, but it's very difficult during a time when we've not won a game in 7. Not won a game in 7. 2 points. 21 points up for grabs, 2 points on the board. And it's not that, it's the goals conceded. 14 goals conceded. That's 2 goals a game. I'm not good at maths, but I'm sure that's 2 goals a game. And we've only scored 5. Up front, we're powder puff. Some of us couldn't score in Amsterdam. And at the back, we've got more holes than a sieve. And in midfield at the minute, we're getting overrun. If I was in the team, I'd be saying the exact same thing. It's not good enough. It's not good. I've played in crap games and been crap individually, collectively, and I've been critical. I mentioned when I used to go in front of the press. But on the other side now, but my opinions don't change because I'm still a Middlesbrough fan, still live in the area, want the best for us. And at the minute, I see he's getting it a bit better, but not that much better. And have the fans get patience? You might be one of the few that get patience. The boos last week tell me they've not got patience. Half time and full time. As I say, I'm all for you booing, but I don't see any benefits booing half an hour in, 25 minutes in, second half. Duration of the game, end of the game, have your boos, shout what you want. For me, I'm cool with that. But I don't see any benefits booing the team if there's still a chance of getting a victory or getting... I had the fans tonight, I thought the away fans were great. I had them loud and clear, as they always are. The embarrassing Burnley, my God, Silvera, Crooks and Engel, horrendous. 7 games gone already, 18 points behind a team like Preston says that. So, Burnley, my God, Silvera, yeah, I read that. Behind a team like Preston, Van der Berg isn't a fullback. He might become a decent centre-back. He's a centre-back betrayed. Keep the new lads away from the team versus Southampton. Got Jones, McGree and Foz in. 3 Hackneys and O'Brien behind them. You up front, Bernie, and there's a block that jogs past the house. He's about 84, but he will be an improvement at left back. I hope that's not me you're talking about. This has gone beyond patience. We're getting worse by the game, and substitutions are just bizarre. Yeah, I mean, the fans questioned when Warnock was doing it and Wilder was doing it. They were questioning the selection, the positions and such like. I mean, Carrick's still playing square pegs round holes. We're talking about a centre-back that's playing full-back. Absolutely garbage, Bernie. I'm worried if they couldn't get up for a massive game like that, then we are doomed. Adrian Patterson. Adrian, my boy, is a massive Middlesbrough fan. Pleasant Glasgow, he's a massive Middlesbrough fan. And he says to me the other day, I says, I'm looking for a victory there, Dom. No, a draw. We draw usually a good point, but no this time. We need to get a victory. He went, we've got a bad record down there. Never really do well. And then I cast my own mind back to when I played down there. We didn't have a good record there. And since then, modern right now, we've not got a good record down there. And tonight was another one. They were there for the taking. They were garbage. We weren't much better, but the old cliche game of 2 halves. Well, first half we were woeful and they battered us and could have scored 1 or 2. And then the second half we should have scored more than 1. Well, I've held off saying anything negative about the Borough this season. I'd never ever boo a team off. Slag a young as if you Peter McDermott. It's a long one, so I'll read it. He took time to do it, so let me know it's quite a long one. I'll slag a young minds are off, disrespectful, so Steve Gibson off the park end. But up to now, tonight, I'm afraid this has got to be one of the most inadequate Borough sides I've witnessed for a long time. I'm not slagging the team, but collectively, it's not one or a pleasure to watch. They say don't worry, it's early days, but AM getting worried. I still won't slag them or the manager off, coach, but I get a deep down bad feeling that worries me immensely. Maybe the second half may change, I don't know. But the blame must lie with the people who have signed, overlooked some of these woeful players and allowed them to cross the white line and represent my great town. there seems to be some people up above on the pancrack, as my old dad would say, taking a wage when a working man would have been given his cards on a Friday if he put half a shit shift in. I hope someone later lets Sir Steve read this, but we can't expect anything all from him or the club in the press. This undoubtedly is the worst club in the Football League for communication between itself and its supporters. Carrick can only deal with the hand he's been given, i.e. no cash or work to be given a budget. I see this, but come and let us know what the crack is, Steve. Yours from the undergrowth, a borough mushroom kept in the dark and fed shit. Who's that from again? I've read it out. For Peter McDermott. So Peter's obviously perturbed at what's going on. John's got man of the match, Bernie. Well, leave my man of the match. Samuel Elliott says Ipswich doing it against the big boys. We're struggling to score against absolute dross. Samuel Elliott. Interested, but we can dream. I would take out of back. Mohammed, give you a head of shake, man. Steve Daly says, why did they leave Silvera on till the last minute? He couldn't string 2 passes together for the first half hour. Rodgers and Lath on the bench. At least you say it as it is, Bernie. It's Gibson's fault. He's not interested in the club. See, I don't believe that. That's your opinion, and I respect that, because I respect everybody's opinion. Everybody's got an opinion. I'm not into the cancel culture shit. If that's what you believe in, that's fine. I do believe that he has still got a hunger and desire. I don't believe he's got the money to get up with the Joneses, but he has squandered some money and sanctioned money for donkeys. They may even get a job on the beach, some of them that we've signed over the years, especially centre forwards. So there has to be a come a time, I would presume, when Gibson looks at it and thinks, hold on a minute, I'm paying 8, 9, 12 million for these donkeys. No, I'm not doing it anymore. Maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe somebody interviewed him properly and asked him those questions. He would answer it. Now, why should he keep Shef 7 money on cart horses? His money, it's his club, his money. You know, it has to be a company who goes, you know what, I ain't doing it anymore. And I think that's what's happening. He's trying to get a foundation with younger lads. He's put them on 4-year contracts, or the club has a consortium of people. And down the line, we all might be saying, hey, that was brilliant. What Brighton's there. We're all trying to carbon copy Brighton, what they've done. They just keep churning them out. These lads you've never really heard of. Turn it on, play great, exciting. They sell the top boys, World Cup winners or whatever, and then they go out and get more lads to fill the place. I mean, they've done it, was it Man United on Saturday? Can't lose 44 goals in a team and replace them with Wish. I agree with that as well, Ash. Can't get a win against a team like that. No hope for the Borough for Michael Stothard, is it? Does Southampton FC lose? I don't know. Matt Taylor says, how did Latty Laugh go from starting forward to not even being able to get on while Silvera stayed on against an awful, Matt Taylor, an awful team? I don't know I was expecting we get a run out. Oh, I've just realised a bloody square has more points than us. Christ almighty, that's for Andrew Parkin. Richard Mann says, signings have not been good. Get Engel and Silvera out in January. Daniel May says, get him on the podcast, Bernie, so as Borough fans are all wanting to know where we stand. If we knew his circumstances, then we might not be as harsh. You know, hey, look, I'm sure somebody somewhere will see this and somebody somewhere will mention to people at the football club. I'm there every game. I host the Legends Lounge. I love the club. I live here. I've got an opinion in the club. I would love to interview Steve Gibson or the director of football. I'd love nothing better to ask them the questions I want to ask. It wouldn't be doctored, it wouldn't be tailored. I just want to ask some questions that I would like to ask rather than pussyfooting around, walking in eggshells, being groomed what to say or what to ask. I would like to ask some realistic questions. I mean, I read everything out here. I don't try and hide any of it because I'm not worried. I'm not in bed with anybody. I'm just a Borough fan who's got an opinion and a former Borough player, an attack-minded mindset, and it frustrates me when we can't score goals. and when we're not winning games. As I say, I've been through it. I was sure the worst time in Middlesbrough's history. I'm still here. Liquidation, bankruptcy, no money, training local parks, getting chased with dogs, training in dog shit. Washing my own training gear, training local parks. I've seen it and done all that. It doesn't get any worse than that. This is a bad time, but it's not as worse as, not as bad as that. Carrick did well with half decent players last season, 10 minutes, and now he's been given a load of no names. We're in total mess. Saturday could see a lot of fans turning against the King of Teesside. For Jack. Well, we know it's going to be an every affair. But really, we need balls now. Our players need to stand up and be counted. We need leaders Saturday. Guys who are going. If I was in the dressing room, I'd say, listen, forget the fans booing. Don't care what they do. We're the team. We appreciate the fans, but let's not listen to them. If they get my case, come on. We deserve them to be on my case, but let's try and deal with it. Let's focus on us and let's shut the outside noise out and let's do the business and let's try our damnedest to win a game of football. Only takes a deflection, a ricochet, an own goal, a penalty decision to turn the fortunes, and then we're on track and we get rid of the stigma of not winning a game. But the longer it goes, dear God, we're 7 in. Imagine it went to 10, double figures. Crooks was good tonight, great effort over the 90. Hayden, magnificent second half. Yeah, Hayden was good second half. I'll tell you what, Roger, first half, so he's passing. If I see the kid, I'll tell him. He had 3-4 passes on the trot, straight to them. There was a couple poor routine passes to the opposition. Then there was one he should have fed earlier through. This is in the first half, and they were cut out. Should have played it early, but did come into the second half. But everybody came into the second half. But again, we don't win a game. Jones was good. Hope it gels next Saturday. Sammy Elliott said it really winding me up now. After each game, Carrick comes out with the lads are doing everything right, and there's positives to take. As he watching a different team, sounds like a beaten man. Evening Bernie, going to be a tougher against better teams. Borough fan, just simply Borough fan. Yeah, I think the better teams are still to come. So we need to, I'm sure we will get better. How much better, I'm not so sure, but I'm sure we can only get better. Dear me. Players still have to settle. But I tell you what, it took me a year to settle in Teesside. If it takes half of these lads a year to settle, we could be in big, big trouble. We need to start seeing them gelling in the next month or two and really get our act together and start pulling up trees. Bernie, you always say how it is and always will, but that performance was woeful. We can't pass the ball. This is if you caught the corner, higher caught the corner. Isn't right. Totally scared. It was poor 2 points lost, so very shocking. Where's the confidence coming from? That will get better. Well, at the minute, it's a blind faith. I mean, I remember the Borough fans keep the faith and all that a few years ago. I'm saying it's not the fans that keeps the faith, it's the players and the football club. Everybody at the minute is obviously down in the dumps, struggling, and thinking and praying where our next point or where our next victory is coming from. I mean, some people still had the last season on it. I don't, but some people do. And you're talking about 13 games without a win or something. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We were never going to be as good as last year. As I say, 40 odd goals, more out at the door, best players out the door, top scorer out the door. We knew it wasn't going to be a mirror image of last year. But this is Carrick, still a novice young coach. He's bought into, he knew it was going to happen. But last season it was hunky dory and there was no need to rebel or get flustered. But to the outside looking in, he looked flustered at the minute. And can only be flustered. Borough played the same as this stream, never turned up for an hour and a half. Speaking as a fan, the Borough legend, what would you change, Bernie, and Saturday? Matt, do you know what? I honestly don't know. I've said this as a joke, and it's not sarcasm, it's a joke, but it might be real. Does Michael Carrick pull my names out of a hat? I don't think there's any players that can really say, I deserve to be in there on Saturday. After the first half tonight, second half, everybody played well, but we had them on the ropes, but still didn't score the all-important winner. The a disjointed team struggling to play. For me, there's no cohesion. No cohesion. I think that's a big problem as well. No leaders, no cohesion, no ruthless, clinical centre forwards, defenders they can't defend, letting too many in, not scoring enough of their end. That's a problem. And that is, can you really coach that? I mean, Jonathan Woodgate is one of the finest centre halves in England. You know, he must be telling them how to defend. But whatever he's telling me, it ain't working because we're 7 in goals. No leaders on the pitch, Benny Andy Atwood have said that. Need leaders. 1 or 2, come on. I don't mean even vocal leaders. I mean somebody, in my day, Gary Hamilton, 5 foot nothing. He would clatter right through Brian Robson here, take that, boom, up there with Robbo. That's it, set the tone of the game. I remember seeing Dean Windass, whose son get played tonight but get injured. I remember Dean Windass, we played the Arsenal. I was doing the commentary with the late great Ali Brownlee, Old Trafford. And I was saying to Ali before the game, we need somebody to set the tone of the game. Dean Windass went right through Vieira, boom, there you go. And we were really good in the first half. Unfortunately, Vieira returned the compliment second half and they beat us. When you replace the most assisted player in the championship and the top scorer, Akpom and Giles, with unknown players like Engel and Latte, couldn't even start tonight, shows where the problems is. Playing out from the back is very nervy style. Oh, I'm fed up talking about that. As I say, I don't mind the formation, but fanning about the back when we're not very good at it, everybody's having kittens. When we play the good teams, let's see if we get away with it. So Vera, Greenwood, Rodgers, all not good enough. Woodgate isn't going to tell anyone how to defend. Let's get real. That's from Brian Smith. Christian Sub says the buck stops with the board. Think Carrick was poor with the substitutions, but can only work with what he's given, and he hasn't been given any quality. That was from Christopher Stubbs. Josh Dillon says Neto players cheap and nasty. David Longstaff says team is rotten to the core. New signings are shocking. Ipswich manager Colin Fryatt. Dave Cooter says, is it the players? Question mark. Is it the manager? Or is it the recruitment team? When you need a goal scorer after selling Akpom, where are we? Is it after selling Akpom, we could have got Macaulay Langstaff from Notts County for 1 million, proven goal scorer, 42 goals last season for Notts County, 34 this season for Gateshead, a lot better striker than anyone currently at the club. Well, rather than cherry picking one, David, not replacing Akpom, and you see Akpom for a year and a half, we all had written him off anyway, and all thought it was a donkey, the same as a lot of the other strikers we'd signed. But it turned out last season he was fantastic. But that was down to Carrick. It was down to the players that Carrick got in, or the recruitment staff got in, which was brilliant. Giles, Archer, Ramsey, brilliant. And Akpom was in fire. But maybe Akpom, that was one of the reasons he left. Maybe he's thinking, hold on a minute, all the boys who made my goals and I enjoyed playing with have gone. I want out as well. Obviously the club for their reasoning. He had 12 months left in his contract. Neil Whitley says, Bernie, hope you and yours are well. We are. Cheers, Neil, and hope you are. Terrible decisions on the ball. Wayward passing, 5-6 yards. Silvera is average at best. Time for issues for T. Savage. Time for Gibble to hold his hands up and empty some men around him with experience in football. Sack these dodgy card dealers, Scott and Bowser, and go again. Can't keep replacing managers all the time. They're not managers, but coaches. And coaches buy into what it is. Building for next season in Division 1 was a poor first half, ball watching and not tracking the man. Just wayful passing. We have some good attacking players, just need to play our player strengths. Good attacking players is different from good attacking finishers. It's not good attacking players we need, it's finishers, goal scorers, fox in the box, ruthless, clinical, selfish. I don't believe we've got that. I think they'll get better, but how good are they in front of goal? I think what I've seen in Letty Laugh, touch has to get better, and when he's in front of goal, he has to calm down, be composed. picky spot rather than rash and try to bust the ball and put a hole in the net. Samuel says, we look bereft of ideas, players running out of position, defenders can't beat the man, struggling to do the basics. I've read that. Just panicking. I've read that. Just panicking when get the ball. Can't wait to get rid. Gaps all over in defence. Gary Robinson says, Jack Walker. We will stay up. Will we stay up for Stephen Ash after that showing? I think First Division betting. No. Look, there's 39 games to go, 46 in the Championship. Long way, twists and turns, ups and downs, turbulent times ahead, long winter ahead. I would advise you to get your long johns on and scarves and woolly hats and big fur coats, imitation of course. I would urge you to wear them in the winter months because I think we're in for a long winter. Where are the goals coming from this season? Latty found out already and benched tonight. Absolute criminal. Not bringing in a recognised striker forward when the window was still open, Jay Shaw. And I agree with that as well. Who's this from? 10 inches, he called. The players are all so flat and have no urgency at all. We have 7 or 8 good players in the team and they're underperforming. Daniel says, you in Carrick's shoes, Bernie, what do you do next? Well, if I bought into it, I just need to bite the bullet and carry on and keep chopping and changing until I get a team that I think this is good enough to perform week in, week out. I think Carrick's craving for a settled team, but because we keep losing or drawing, and he's not seen enough a sustaining performance for the duration of the game where he can say, right, I'll let them go again on Saturday. I see more changes Saturday. It was 5 last game. 4 tonight, I see more changes Saturday. As I say, he's still gambling, he's still trying to find his ways. He's had players thrust upon him late on, some probably not even his. And he has to coach them. And he has to try and get them going and motivate them if they can't motivate themselves. And at the minute, they don't want as if they can motivate themselves. They're trying, I don't doubt that they're trying. But I've been in positions like this, you can't buy a one. You know, when you're down there, things just don't go to plan. When you're up there, you get goals that usually, or shots that usually hit the corner flag, hit somebody in the back of the ear and fly in the top left-hand corner. But when you're in a position, you don't get that like that. I blame Kieran Scott pulling the strings. The sooner that man goes, the better. Andrew Smith. Robert Line says, we were lucky with the goal. It was a ricochet. It was a ricochet because Coburn and Linehan went for it, and then it sort of ricocheted off one of theirs went in. Linehan got the goal. Alex Smith says, I listened to the game on radio, Sheffield. Both teams are woeful. Had a glimmer of hope in the second half. I can't see where they can go from here. We're not on the up. We're not on the up. That's more than your poor run-up, Bernie. No League 1 and 12. That's more than your poor run, Bernie. You mean that? No League 1 and 12, dear me. Tony Smith says, everyone talks about the goals scored, the quality of the players last season, but from the last international break, last season, those players were woeful and the bottle went till the play against Coventry this season. We just carried on that form. We have carried on that form, Tony, but I put it down to this, or the run last season, one of the most vital stages was, and I keep saying it, I'm bored saying it, but I'll say it again, because you might have just joined us tonight. Michael Carrick came in, scrapped to 5 at the back of 3 centre-backs, went flat back 4, had good attack-minded players, we were scoring goals, we were entertaining. Then, and he never changed the team, barring injury. Very seldom changed the team. Then we played Luton down there at their place, and both teams had already qualified for the playoffs. So Michael Carrick decided to make 4 or 5 changes, and Akpom was one of them. They never recovered from that. Akpom never scored a goal for that, and for me that was a start, and it shows you how much a settled team meant to Carrick. He obviously gambled, and it didn't work for me. It backfired. As I say, dropping Chuba Akpom, although the modern day terminology is resting, you still dropped him. If I was Akpom, I'd have been distraught. I'd have knocked Carrick Stoder and saying, what are you doing? I'm on fire. I'm scoring goal for fun. I'm chasing this 30 goal mark. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I've got you in here. You've given me the rights to do it, but I've done the business for you, and you're resting me. I don't want rested. But he did, and we never recovered. The team suffered and still suffered. It's tough, Bernie. All we can do is get behind the lads, no matter what. We've done it for years up the effing Borough fan. Listen, we're all Borough fans. We'll be there Saturday. We'll get behind the team. As I say, if you're one of those that raged and need a woman, or your missus is on your case, or you went out the house to escape and give it a mouthful to players, try and hold back to the final whistle. Hey, you might be cheering on the final whistle. You might be cheering through the game, but if things are not going to plan, try not to go on the players' cases. I mean, I'll tell you what I used to do. I used to say, if you want to give me stick, you're paying to watch us as a team. If you want to get on with case early doors in a game, fine. If we're having a bad time individually, collectively, do you think that's going to enhance our performances and make us better? It's not. So just think about that Saturday. If you're at the game, I'm not a preacher. Hey, you do what you want. If you want to brew after 10, do it. But I don't see any benefits. I'm being honest now. I don't see any benefits. And that's how I thought as a player. I don't know if a modern player even thinks like that, but I did. I said, you're paying to watch us, and we need you more now than ever because we're having a bad time. And we had some bad times. League One, League Two, or even Conference. It's still a Borough. I'm still a Borough fan. It's in the blood. Of course it is. Look, football, all sports, great. Opinionated game. Don't anybody stop your opinions. Opinions, a big part of, I was going to say democratic society in Britain, but that's all changed. But in football, let's just keep talking about football. Let's be straight-laced. Stop bullshitting, being in bed, being cosy, frightened to ask this, frightened to say that. Just, we're talking football here. Bernie, what's going on? What's going on? Help! I've thought that myself. And why do we always go up a year when we concede? And why do we always go up a gear? A year, it means a gear, when we concede. I says that at the top of the live, David. Last game, did the exact same. Lost the goal, scored the goal, and then we woke up and we came back in the game. Today we did the same. First half, garbage, woeful, not acceptable. And then second half, we scored a goal, and then we come alive and we look the part. Carry out, Jack Walker in, Gary Robinson. And the Appius says, how did Silvera last as long as he did? Surely Carrick can see that Crooks was spent after 60 minutes. Lackey Laughing Rogers needed to come on 60 minutes to give us a chance. I mean, after the event, I know you were probably shouting at your telly the same thing, but yeah, Carrick lives and dies with decisions. Similar start as last season, and Wilder got the boot. Do you think Carrick is in thin ice? So similar start. No, this is the worst start for 30, 40 years, isn't it? It's not a similar start. This is the worst start. Are you ready for Big Sam? Turn that up, man. Yeah, up again. I know what you're talking about. Andy Green said, very poor, mate. Can't see a way out. Stephen Lewis says, let good players go and brought in poor players to replace. What do you expect if you sign Dross? Well, listen, we don't know if they're Dross. They're not as good as we let go. I think that well, right now they aren't. They might be in the future. But I don't think fans have got patience for the future. Well, I know they've not. I heard them booing last week. Fans are not going to tolerate continuing to play 90-odd minute games or 100-minute games these days, 100-odd minutes, and not win a game of football. We're 7 games in. The pressure is going to be unbelievable on Saturday. The players will feel it as soon as they come out. They'll be in that. I bet you can cut the atmosphere with a knife on Saturday. So if it's worst start, do we get rid of Carrick? And if so, who else is there to come in? It's not my job to say get rid of Carrick. It's never my job to say rid of Wilder or Warnock or whoever. I know it's a difficult job for the outside looking in. It's easy talking about it, but to do it, especially with so many restraints and other people putting their tuppence within, it must be a horrible job. But they accept it, so they just need to get on with it. Steve Gibson's job as chairman, nobody else. There's only one guy can do the business, and he made the right decision to get Michael Carrick last season. Brilliant. So far, it's not went to plan. inferior players in, good players out, building for the future. But I don't even think Steve Gibson or anybody at the club thought it was going to be this bad. Neil Ray says, that was shocking, Bernie. Look at your point. Something needs to change big time. Not much confidence going into the weekend. Well, I think that's an understatement. James Sterling says, can't blame Gibson. We have spent money but on terrible players, terrible recruitment. What a depressing situation after a great last season. That's the thing, James, that sort of gripes me. How good we were last season. That's the best football I've seen for a long, long, long time. Well, since I arrived, that's as good as I've seen. Football, entertainment, goals, excitement, fearless. Everybody was enjoying it. Everybody was talking about us. At the moment, a musician couldn't get a tune out of this team. Graham McIver says, most of them wouldn't get a game in the Northern League. They don't look interested. Joe Pat says, we need change recruitment team because don't think these Carrick players must be a lot negative in the dressing room. We need a change recruitment team because I don't think these Carrick players must be a lot negative in the dressing room. The thing is, as I say, it's nothing new. The way we're talking about Middlesbrough, clubs up and down the country do it this way. Don't forget, Everton have had that many managers the last few years, but they get rid of the recruitment guy. Last year, was that when Lampard was there? They get rid of him. He was bringing donkeys in as well. So they get rid of him. The big Moore guy I was talking tonight, it was a former Sheffield Wednesday manager. He was saying the same thing. Recruitment was crap. I think there's a lot of clubs doing it and having a go. Chelsea. On selection against Southampton, who would you pick, Coburn or Latty Laugh? Being honest, I would pick Latty Laugh because I think Southampton's an out-and-out football team. The aggression, I don't think is a big part of their play. That they like to play football and pass it around, zip it around. So I think Latty Laugh's direction and pace would be in there. Well, why can't we play both? Coburn up top, Latty Laugh number 10. Martin Sturman says, like Bielsa will leave his job as Uruguay manager for this shower. Yeah. Poop. Kevin Dodd says, replace a decent team with that Tommy Tit, and that's what you get. January might not even save us. Andrew says, Carrick clearly doesn't know his best team. He doesn't. Carrick doesn't know his team. You don't know his best team. I don't know his best team. And that's what he's juggling at the minute. He's pulling names out of a hat thinking, right, I'll play that team. Let's see how we go. Bernie, I'll still wear my shirt with pride no matter what. It's what it is, as I say. You're right. We're all Borough fans. We've got an opinion. We're playing a 21-year-old to win the ball, then carry the ball. Hayden Hackney passed the ball 114 times with 96 pass rate. The issue we have is that he's got no one to pass it to. Last season he was playing in the Archer, Ramsey and Ekbom. Lee Edward Huskinson, I don't know where you get your 96%. Well, tonight I would question that. I don't know if you're making them up yourself or where you find that information out, but I'm a Hackney fan, by the way, and I hope he gets 8 to 10 goals this season. Scored a stunner a few weeks ago, but there was a few balls that I'm sure the lad's honest enough to say somebody's pass was brutal tonight, as was the team's. And by the way, if I'm passing 4-yard square balls, I should be able to pass 100 out of 100. It's once you start fitting the defence splitting passes and 30, 40 yard passes. Passing it side and square and backwards is easy. You do that all day long. I'm not referring to Hackney, I'm talking about general. Sometimes I feel like I'm watching pre-season friendlies, no tempo, no aggression and no laid back. They're a little fly, keeps going past your head. You're right, I've seen that. Michael Johnson, we are Tommy Tit. People pick out individual players, but it's a team game and we don't look anything like a team. That's what I'm saying. For me, there's no cohesion at the minute. But there won't be cohesion and we won't get this telepathic thing going until we've got a settled team. And we'll let it roll. Carrick's still searching for the team. We've not got a team yet. He doesn't know his best team. He's still juggling, he's still trying. He's still scratching his head, scratching his backside thinking, what's my best team? And as yet he's not got it. He's not got the answer because the results haven't been going my way. If we go on Saturday and we win, he might think, do you know what? Good performance, good victory, keep the same team for the next game. But at the minute, I just think he'll keep chopping and changing until he finds out And let's hope it's not too late. Time he finds out what the best team is. I'll read 5 more out and we'll go because I've shot the runway. It's absolutely time Gibble needs to stand up and be counted. He's far from Messiah nowadays. That's for Robert Suggett. Phil Copeland says, as soon as we get our first win, we'll go on a roll. Coburn did well tonight. He did. Second half. We're lacking that final ball. So Vera couldn't pass wind, but it will come. What, the wind or the ball pass? Bernie in chat, we can reply to other comments in chat. Bernie on chat, we can reply to other comments in chat. Michael Andy Robinson, Jones turned the game round. Jones was very good when he came off the bench. For me, he was a man of the match. I says that as soon as I come on here. When you put subs on, you're looking for a change in direction, you're looking for an uplift, you're looking for... And Jones provided that. What you got up out your seat, I didn't even react to the goal. For Josh Dillon saying, more or less, when the goal went, didn't get out of his seat. I think, Benny, this will be Michael Carrick's last match. I think Daniel Pegg's. Callum says, Bernie, can't you put your boots on, show these boys how to fit? I put my boots on every day, but it's for walking. My walking boots. Bang on, Bernardo. Basic passing was atrocious. If you think and you're trying to say certain players were good in this percentage of passing, you're kidding yourselves on. You must be making them up in fantasy land, cuckoo land. Or whoever's doing them and you're reading them must be on the drink. I watched them with my own eyes. I seen players, the same players passing 3-4 consecutive passes time after time after time to the opposition. I seen it. My own eyes. I don't wear glasses, by the way. See, last year we didn't make any changes in team. This year, 4 and 5 changes every match. Both full-back very poor. We've signed a lot of bad players. Michael Goody, hi Michael. Annette says Jones made the difference tonight. Far better than when he came on. James Marr says, don't think I've ever seen a Borough team misplay so many simple passes. So but the majorities are seeing it, and yet there's people cherry picking certain players and giving them 96% pass rate. Real lack of quality. Fair play to Isaiah Jones, game changer. Steve Daly says it's all well and good having more possession, tippy tapping about in midfield. No decent wide men to supply a striker. I tell you what, a lack of width. Jones gave his width. Yeah, final delivery sometimes was poor, but he gave his width and an outlet and a bit of pace and trickery on the right. But there was nothing. As I say, there was one Silvera first half, that was it. Amalaya Josh Coburn put one in the first half from the left. Andy Thompson says, not a great game, but thought Hackney was stand out for us. Unfortunately, it won't be long before someone big's come knocking for him. Well, hey, look, I'm a Hackney fan, but I don't think the first half I thought he was poor. I thought the team was poor. And the passing was poor. They were all poor in the first half. Second half, yeah, Hackney came right into it. So did we all come into it. We've got no fullbacks, and the only outlet, the winger, is Jones, and he's stuck in the bench. The squad is so disjointed. Stephen Pulsifer, is it? Joey Matt Smith's Smithies, is it? People going on about Carrick. He wouldn't give Borough a second thought when or if he leaves. He's a multi-millionaire with loads of options open to him. Gary Bell says, listening from Mexico, Bernie. Gary, I wish I was in Mexico. I know you say it's early talking about relegation, but can't see us getting that win. And looks like the confidence is low. There's no doubt the confidence is low, but relegation, this, when you're only 7 games in, but you're, is it 19 points behind Preston, then that's a big gulf, isn't it? It looks like we won't be catching them anytime soon. But you can't write us off. Relegation has never entered my mind. Awful start, woeful start, unbelievably bad start. But Carrick praising Silvera on Sky. Seriously, wow. Bring back Warnock, just a thought. Yeah, Neil Warnock's went out. Greenwood looked another Duff signing. Strolling around. Hello from Thailand, Bernie. Hello, Paul. Paul David. Hiya, Paul for Thailand. Warnock, yeah, Warnock. Hey, I listened to Warnock's wee quote where he says, I signed a year contract, but more or less they knew that they wanted somebody else in, so I thought, I don't feel wanted him off. So he just walked out. Says, see you later. Take my hat off to him. Wish there was more people like that in the world. That is League One team is best. Who's actually bringing half these players in? Well, get the local press to ask Carrick. Who brings them in? Carrick has been asked that. I'm sure he has, and he says that there's a collective number of people play a part in bringing in players. But then he also was quoted a week or two ago saying that sometimes it's out of your hands, meaning it's out of his hands. So Vera getting pelters, which is fair enough after tonight, but I also thought Crook's decision making them passing was very poor. I thought Josh did okay, but very little service. He held the ball up well and brought other players into it. Well, he did in the second half. Let's hope the first one comes in Saturday up the Borough. Stephen Parker. I'll read 5 more, and that's me, finito. I don't blame Carrick one bit, I blame the recruitment. That's for Michael Swalwell. 8 messages since 2017. Can't always blame the manager. 8 managers, since 2017. Can't always blame the manager. Paul Nicholas. Problem obviously lies elsewhere. Chris Fleming says the standard of that match was abysmal. The recruitment isn't even League One standard. They look really poor. Mike Wilson says half of that team who played tonight are unsellable. And Stephen Lewis says just watch Carrick post-match interview. He looks fed up. Even Belly, what happened to the 15 million from MacPom? Brighton's team cost 60 million to assemble, and they are flying high in the Premiership. The recruiting and structure of this club is clearly not what I'm pacified as a Borough fan. We'll leave it there. Sorry I never get reading any of these. I'll read them out my... I'm back Saturday. When I'm on Saturday, I'm at the game. And then I'm going to the Dovecot pub to do an hour with the fans, the real fans, you the fans, or the people that really matter in football. Have a live chat. Nothing scripted, say what you want, give your opinion. And then I'll be doing Facebook and YouTube live at the back of 7 on Saturday. So thanks for joining us. As a Borough fan, like us all, keep supporting the Borough. We love the club. We want the best for the club. At the minute, I don't think we're getting fed the best. Well, we're not getting the best players in. We're not getting the best performances. We're not viewing the best performances. We're not enjoying it at the minute. We just need to hope and pray that it's going to turn and change for the better. So thanks for watching on YouTube. I'll cut that off.